Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, V Feels. My name is V Hernandez and today we're going to be doing song number 8. As you know, the main objective on my channel is to translate, explain, and decipher popular Spanish songs that otherwise you would use Google Translate and probably get a whole different meaning than what the artist actually intended to say. With that said, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And without further ado, I want to take a moment to apologize for taking a little bit of a break. I was on vacation, celebrating my birthday, so now I am back and ready to go. So let's start with song number 8, La Droga. It starts off with, this is repeated twice, but basically it says, tú eres la droga de que mami me hablaba, la que moría si probaba, y yo de idiota pensando que me amaba, no sabía nada. The direct translation is, you're the drug that mom used to talk to me about, and like an idiot, I thought that you loved me. But what he truly is saying here is, mom warned me about women like you. In other words, savages, users, women that are just looking to prey on men and use them for their wealth, their status, etc. And I feel like this is a common conversation or lesson to be taught to the young men by their mothers, because I know a lot of men in my family, they had this conversation with their mothers, and basically it's kind of like, no seas pendejo, que no te usen, etc., etc., you know, along those lines. And then this section is repeated twice as well, where he says, otro fili pa olvidarte, pero si me llama voy a buscarte, tú eres mala y no puedo soltarte, y eso me endiabla, y eso me endiabla. The direct translation here is, smoke another Philly to forget you, but if you call me, I'm gonna run after you. I'm gonna go look for you. You know, this makes me really mad. Like, I can't let you go, and it makes me angry. But basically, what he really is trying to say is, in order for me not to think of you, my head needs to be cloudy. Like, I need to smoke. I need to be smoking weed so that I don't think about you. So that my head is like thinking or being just vacant in that way, you know. And then he goes on to say, like, you're bad for me, like you're like a drug for me, and that makes me so angry that I want you and I can't have you. Moving on. And then he goes on to say, no me lo niegue, tú me hiciste brujería, la calavera encima de una foto mía, te extraño por las noches, te odio por el día, te llevaste mi alma, mi vida, ya no es mía. This is fire. I love this line because this is such a Hispanic thing to say, you know. He's like saying, like, don't deny it, you did some witchcraft on me. I bet that my picture is sitting on top of a skull where you did some witchcraft. And then he's like, I hate it because I miss you during the nighttime, but during the daytime, I despise you. You took my whole life away, like my soul. Like, my life no longer belongs to me because it belongs to her. Like, his brain, his mental, it's only thinking of her. So he hates that he is no longer belongs to himself, in other words, right? And now he goes on to say, desde chiquito me metí en problemas, pero tú eres el menos que vale la pena. Yo que quería regalarte mi cadena y me tienes con una condena. So he's basically saying, like, ever since I was a young kid, I used to always get in trouble. But you're like the only problem that really matters to me. And I would have given you everything, my chains, my jewelry. Like, and then this is interesting that he did this because he says, te hubiera dado mi cadena, me metiste una condena. Like, una condena is like a sentence, right? Like, so he's saying, like, I would have given you everything, but instead I'm a prisoner of you. And prisoner is like chains. So cadena is a chain. So I thought that was extremely clever from him, you know. Amazing, if you ask me. And then he goes on to say, tú eres la droga, la que mami me hablaba, etc., etc. Then we'll go on to the next part where he says, tu juego no quería jugar, yo siempre quise algo real. Tú me chingas rico, pero me trata mal. Fui al psicólogo y me puso a fumar. Here he's saying, like, you're always playing games, and I didn't want to play that game. Like, I wanted to be real and serious and date you for reals. But, you know, you were just playing games. And then he goes on to say, like, tú me chingas rico, pero me trata mal. Like, he's saying, like, sex with you is amazing, it's great, but you always mistreat me. Like, you like treat me like shit, essentially, right? And then he's like, then I went to see a psychologist so I could like work on this and move on from this. And the verdict or the rest of the recommendation was to begin to smoke or continue to smoke, in this case for him. So smoking weed so that he could be cloudy, you know, like his brain could be elsewhere. I think that this is pretty interesting because then he goes on to say, you know, me dijo, si te pateaba, no te quiere nada. Son labios compartidos, lo dijo maná. No confía en una mujer, solo en tu mamá. Si te corre como chinga, métele y más nada. Here is a lot of stuff going on, and we want to make sure that I take my time to explain this. So he's basically saying like that the psychiatrist said, if she kicks you where you're down, she doesn't love you. Like, this person does not deserve you. Like, you should move on. And then he goes on to compare it to a song by Maná, which is Labios Compartidos. Maná is a Mexican rock band from Guadalajara, and Labios Compartidos is actually a song that they wrote. In the little fragment that I'm going to read to you guys, it says, labios compartidos, labios divididos, mi amor, yo no puedo compartir tus labios, que comparto el engaño y comparto mis días y el dolor, ya no puedo compartir tus labios. Here, when he's saying son labios compartidos, he's basically referencing them, their song, where Maná or the group is saying that this woman is going around kissing others. Like, she has multiple lovers. Her love, her kisses are divided amongst everybody else, as well as, like, you know, her love. And I could no longer be sharing with everyone else who's chasing after her. And I cannot share being like cheated on, and I can share like my time, my days with this person, and my heartache. So amazing, if you ask me, right? Like, he's just basically saying like how great he is. And this reminds me of like the when he made a reference to Juan Gabriel in the song Yo Visto Así. So that is the second Mexican artist or group that Bad Bunny makes a reference to, for those that are interested in knowing. Then this part that it gets repeated where it says, you know, he goes on to say like, no confíes en una mujer, solo en tu mamá. That is very accurate from a mother telling a son. I remember my mom used to tell that to my brother and be like, you know, no other woman's gonna love you as much as I'm gonna love you. I love you unconditionally. So I think that he's basically reassuring or reconfirming what his mother told him, which is, do not trust any woman, just trust your mother. Like, I will always be there for you, unconditional love, right? Si te corre como chinga, métele más nada. So basically it's like, if she's like doing all this, like, if sex is really good, like, just hit it and quit it. The end of it, because the otro Filipa olvidarte portion comes up again. So I hope that you really like this brief song. It kind of, you know, repeats itself a lot, but the little bit of good content that it has, I feel like it's really strong. I thought that this was very short but clever song. So hopefully you agree with my translation and explanation of the song, and if you didn't, please feel free to comment, add new stuff that I probably missed. I'm looking forward to reading your comments, and feel free to like, share, and to subscribe. See ya.